Hello and welcome to the 7th International Uşak Short Film Festival. I'm Saran, a member of the festival and also pre-jury last year. Today I am very happy to welcome Emilie Mannering to talk about her film Jarvik. Hello Emilie, how are you?
Hi, thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you so much. Your film was one of our favorites. We loved it very much. It's so candid and so authentic. I have some questions lined up for you. To start with, how did you develop the idea of Jarvik?
It started with I worked with a scriptwriter, and when she was younger, she had a little friend who had an artificial heart, a pump, cardiac pump. So, and she wanted to write a story about this little boy. And together we started talking about the idea, and we really wished to center the story about the whole family who kind of stick together through a tough time, So, yes.
And I think the casting was great because I'm not so sure if they're real life siblings, but the way they interact with each other, it's so natural, it's so smooth. I think beyond the great script, what makes us believe the real story is how they act on camera, and it was very, very impressive.
Yeah, thank you very much. We worked a lot prior to the actual shooting. Mm-hmm. I kind of knew the energy I was looking for, something very raw and authentic and youthful at the same time. And so we started by casting Leah, the main character. And when I saw her in the casting, like it's almost like she didn't want to be there. Oh like she was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, so I automatically fell in love for that kind of a vibe, I was like, she's so honest. So I needed her, and from there we kind of look for her brother and her younger sisters who kind of look like her, but in a different way. And the youngest, she was wild, and like it was really hard to control her in the casting process. So I really like this energy too. And the little boy, I love his haircut, and like
big fan.
So I was like, oh, okay, so this is going to be the family. And so we rehearsed a lot prior to the shooting, and we kind of created background for every character. Mm-hmm. Like who was their favorite singer, who was their best friend, who was what kind of clothing they like, and who are they following on Instagram. And even though if it's not in the film, like it really helped them to understand their characters. And we read the script once together, and then we throw it away. So they understand like the scene and the story. Yeah. But I wanted them to use their own word and their own creativity to be able to to feel very authentic in the way they were talking. So yeah, so it was a long process, but I'm really proud of the work they accomplished. And yes.
No, it shows. I think they are the stars of this whole production, and I want to talk more about this pre-production process because I remember that you mentioned on your film Star, you also work with teenagers, and then you mentioned that you worked with them solely for 4 months to get
yes.
where you went. And how long did it take for Jarvik?
Jarvik, we had with Jarvik we had almost no money to do it. So we Yeah, so we rehearsed for a little, I think around maybe 3 weeks or a month, twice a week. So it was a little bit less intense than Star. Star, we had a bigger budget for it, so we could really work more in a longer term. And yeah, so but the process was kind of similar, like I never want them to learn the dialogues by heart. I want them to remember the intentions and the storyline, but I want them to use their own language. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, beyond all this work and casting, I also think that the visuals and the sound design is stunning. I'm surprised to hear that the budget was lower than Star, because everything is so top quality and so real. Um, how was that visual process developed for you?
Yeah, well, with Star, it was like I didn't want to be. I wanted to be like very raw, Star was like, it was not about artistic direction. It was, I really wanted to work with the actors. For Jarvik, I wanted to work with the actors, but very like, I really wanted to create a mood. And I don't know why, when I was reading the script, I was seeing very warm tones, and like red and orange. And I come from visual art. I didn't study cinema. I studied visual art, so it was very important for me to like, I had very precise reference that I showed the art director and the cinematographer also, and we worked closely together. And we really we we had almost no money, so I don't know how we did it, but it worked. Like the team was very committed, and they worked so hard. And yes, so yes, I had a lot of inspiration images that I showed the cinematographer about the lightning, and yes, yeah.
Yeah, it really shows that it was very well thought, every little detail in regards of cinematography, and it was also very beautiful to watch it with everything coming together. But looking back at your previous works, I see that you like to make coming of age kind of films. You like to work with teenager or children actors and actresses. And somewhere I read that when you were a teenager and seeing teenager portrayals on TV, you were not very happy with that, that you didn't find them accurate or proper. And I want to ask, is that why you tend to work with these young people to maybe fix that image of not accurate kind of characters and portrayals?
That's a good question. Probably yes. I mean, I love working with teenagers and kids. I feel they are so honest and creative, and they don't have the bad ego, or like like they just let themselves go. And
Raw, very raw.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but this energy really like move me and touch me. And they are they are so confident, but so much full of doubts at the same times. I just love watching them, and getting creative, and like, I don't know, but yes, it's true. When I was younger, I didn't identify with the teenage television. And it's true that for me it's probably something that that became important for me, that they can recognize themselves on the screen. Yeah.
Because you mentioned that you were in visual arts initially, how did it evolve into more cinema?
Yes. So I was in visual arts, and then I had a degree in graphic design, and I was working in a big graphic design company here in Montreal. But the work was very commercial, and I felt dead creatively. I was I didn't feel creative, and I was working a lot, so I couldn't have like my personal projects. And my sister, at the same time, she started her own production company, and she really, she really encouraged me to. She was like, why aren't you writing a story? Like, you love doing that. And so I tried. I wrote Star, my first short film, and I just completely fell in love with the whole filmmaking process. I'm a very shy person, and I, I don't know why, but when I am directing, my shyness just goes away, and it gives me confidence into myself to be able to work with people, and to communicate your ideas. And it helped me on a very personal level. so so um so yeah, this is how I got into filmmaking. I just fell in love with the creating a world, and the whole process with the team. And for me, it was just it was completely the opposite of what I was doing before that, so which was like being super commercial. And so
Yeah. I think I'm so glad that you shared this with us, because I'm so sure there are so many people out there who needs to hear this, who are maybe on the brink of also have a change of heart about their own lives and career. And I think they will be very inspired by you, because looking at your work, it's top notch, it's very professional, and you keep saying that I'm coming from a commercial part, but then you create all these things with budget or with no budget. And here is the outcome, here is the result. Very inspiring. And I'm very curious about your next projects. I'm sure that you already have so many things lined up for you with your sister in the production company.
I do have I have another short film that we just secured the funding. So yes, but it's not with my sister. It's with another production company, some friends that I made over the year. But yes, and it's also about a young girl who. It's a coming of age about a young girl. So it's gonna be a bit different than Jarvik, but I hopefully, we don't know if the pandemic is gonna disappear. but we hopefully we will shoot it at the end of May or June. Okay. And we're going to start the pre-production after Christmas. So the casting and the rehearsals and the team, and I'm really happy because a lot of people already said yes to the projects, and so I'm just I'm really excited about that, because last year I couldn't shoot anything because of the pandemic. Like, all the projects were canceled or postponed, so it was a rough year. But for the next year, it's gonna. I also have a web series that I will shoot next year.
Really? Yeah. What's the name?
It's called La Base, which means basic.
La Base?
La base, yes.
Oh, in French in this case.
Yes, yes. It's translated as basic. Yes.
When are you gonna start shooting that?
Probably September.
Okay. Wow.
I am also writing my. I also had the funding to write my feature film. So, yes.
So many things already out there. I hope to welcome you physically next year, maybe to our festival. This year it's gonna be online, but maybe it's something good so that everyone can access it for free. And I'm so sure they're gonna love your film. Like I said, it's one of our favorites as team. And thank you so much for sharing this very honest and very natural, candid film with us. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Well, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity to talk about the film, and I'm so happy you liked it. Yes, and I know it must be very hard to have a film festival online and with everything happening. So I have big respect for all the work that the festival people are doing right now. So thank you for thank you for doing it. And yes.
And again, hope to welcome you physically one day, maybe next year, maybe other year. We'll see. Thank you so much for your time, Emilie, and looking forward to meeting you.
Thank you. Same. Thank you. Bye. Bye.